Over in the U.S., President Moon Jae-in's second day in New York for the UN General Assembly has so far been all about bilateral and multilateral meetings, and his key message is consistent. The international community must work together to fundamentally solve North Korea's nuclear problem, and the 2018 PyeongChang Winter Olympics will serve as a venue for promoting peace in the region. Our chief Blue House correspondent traveling with the president reports from New York.
It's day 2 of the South Korean president's 4-day visit to New York, and already Mr. Moon has met with a number of global leaders on the sidelines of the 72nd United Nations General Assembly. The South Korean leader began his day by continuing his efforts to promote next year's Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games in the nation's alpine resort town of PyeongChang. His first meeting on this Tuesday, talks with International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach.
And I'm sure that today we can discuss how we can really make these Olympic Winter Games together the success we want it to be.
거기에 동의했어. 요즘 북한이 백간 이상 도발로 한반도를 비롯해서 중국과 지역의 여러 가지 안보상의 불안을 야기시키고 있기 때문에 이럴 때 전 세계가 평창 올림픽을 사람 뜻이 승인시키는 그런 안보 불안을 씻어내고 지역의 안정, 평화, 화합을 이루는 데 큰 도움이 될 것입니다.
Since his arrival in New York Monday afternoon, South Korean President Moon has been seeking to assure the world community that the upcoming Winter Games in his country will be held peacefully, dismissing the possibility of any conflict with North Korea.
The president also said, should South Korea's Olympic truce declaration be adopted with the support of many countries on November 13th, it will help remove security concerns, and North Korea's participation in the Games will further help guarantee that security.
The tradition of the Olympic truce dates back to the 9th century BC in ancient Greece. The IOC decided to revive the ancient concept, and since 1993, the UN General Assembly has been urging member states to observe the Olympic truce from the 7th day before the opening to the 7th day following the closing of each Olympic Games. President Moon again called for collective efforts by the international community to swiftly and fundamentally solve North Korea's nuclear problem in a peaceful manner at a state luncheon hosted by the UN Secretary General in a UN meeting hall on this Tuesday. Over pan-seared beef and potatoes with 10 other world leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The South Korean leader also asked those attending the power lunch for their support in PyeongChang's hosting of the Winter Games as one for peace. President Moon also held one-on-ones with UK Prime Minister Theresa May, President of the Czech Republic Miloš Zeman, and President Macky Sall of Senegal throughout the day. Mr. Moon is currently in a meeting hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron aimed at spurring the implementation of the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. And absent from that meeting is U.S. President Donald Trump. Moon Jae-in, Arirang News, New York.